Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be 10 things that I will not be buying, most likely, in 2023. This is going to be the last sort of financial video in my New Year's series. We still have my personal goals to go over, but thank you so much for spending the month of January with me. It's been so fun talking about goals, talking about money, and we of course are going to continue talking about all of those things throughout the year, but this is going to be my last New Year kind of focused finance video. I love watching videos about people's worst purchases, things they regret, things they won't be buying. I am addicted to watching these kind of videos. So of course I wanted to make one, and I want to give a shout out to two YouTubers who really inspired this video. The first is Kira Ann Minimalist. She filmed a video like this, I think a couple of weeks ago, and I really enjoyed watching it. And the second was Ashlyn Eaton. She filmed hers and uploaded it, I think right around the new year. She makes a lot of minimalist content as well, and really enjoyed watching her videos. So both of them were the inspiration for this video. I've done videos of things I no longer buy or my worst purchases in the past, but I've never actually set goals for the year of okay, what do I want to stay away from buying this year? So I think it's a cool little exercise, and we'll see how it goes. Throughout the video, as I'm talking, I would love for you to comment down below, what are one or two things that you want to stay away from buying this year? And it doesn't have to be for money saving purposes. We will talk in this video about some of the other reasons why I don't want to buy certain things, but it could be for health reasons, it could be for minimalism reasons, for clutter reasons, anything like that. So let me know one or two things down below. Now, speaking of money saving, I know I said money isn't the number one reason I'm not buying some of these things, but it is cool to add up how much could you potentially save by cutting out some of these purchases. So I made my list of 10 things. I gave a dollar amount to each, and spoiler alert, if I don't buy any of these things on a recurring basis, I will explain my calculations throughout the video, but I will save $4,000 in 1 year by not buying any of these 10 things. So do you want to know what they are? I bet you do. Okay, let's get into it. Number one, this is actually not so much a thing, but rather a theme, I guess. And what I wrote down was places where you feel ripped off. This was inspired by a conversation I had with my stepmom. We were talking about the nail salon because I was doing her nails, and she was like, every time I go to the nail salon, I feel like I'm getting ripped off. And I was like, same. There is no worse feeling than when you go somewhere. It doesn't have to be the nail salon. It could be anywhere. And you leave with your bill in your hand and you're not 100% satisfied with the service or the food or the item that you got for the amount that you paid. I have had so many experiences where I just leave feeling ripped off. It makes you feel angry with yourself. It makes you feel angry towards that company or that establishment. It's just a really icky feeling like you've gotten ripped off. So I wrote down a little list. These are some places where I have felt ripped off, okay? The nail salon. Why does it cost $10 extra to spend an extra 30 seconds putting a little sparkle on my nail, and it doesn't cost that much to buy the little sparkle? Now, that just bothers me, or when they're not transparent with the pricing, you ask for the little sparkle and they don't tell you until you get to the cash that it was an extra $10. Things like that, I really hate that feeling. Also at the hair salon, I have felt ripped off before where they didn't tell me that the blow dry wasn't included, so I thought that it was, and then I had to spend an extra $40 on a blow dry. I one time was forced to tip at the osteopath, which in my opinion, health professionals shouldn't be asking for tips. I didn't know that that was normal. I've never had to do that at any other osteopath, massage therapist, anything like that. And this osteopath in particular was tip, and I was like, what? That was crazy. And then at the restaurant, I have felt ripped off at the restaurant so many times, whether it's oh, can I have, an extra lime, or can I have extra sauce? When you order chips and dip and then one runs out before the other and they charge you $5 for extra chips, and it's just oh, come on. I know that times are tough, restaurants have to make money, but there are some things that are reasonable and there are some things that just feel completely unreasonable. And when it falls into that unreasonable category, that's when you feel ripped off, and it's just such a sucky feeling. Now, sometimes you don't know you're about to walk into a place and leave with an experience feeling ripped off. So it's not always possible to avoid these, but there are certain places that I have recurringly gone knowing I'm gonna feel ripped off after. Like there's this one nail salon in Montreal specifically that like, it's easy. I just go there and every time I leave feeling ripped off. So it's like, let's stop going there, Zoe. I also have felt ripped off in bars, like when you order a cocktail and it comes out to like $25, but I think what I'm going to start doing this year, I did this once last year and it was so empowering, is if I don't like what I see on the menu, rather than sit there and stay and then later feel ripped off, just leave before ordering. Like if you look at the menu and you're like, you know what, I'm not vibing with these prices. I can't afford this. You can just leave. A friend of mine and I, we went to grab a drink one time at this really trendy bar in Montreal. It was like this speakeasy. We were so excited. We go in and it was like a flat rate for any single cocktail that you wanted. And we looked at the menu and we both just looked at each other and we were like, I don't want to pay this. So we left. And yeah, it's kind of embarrassing, but it is what it is. And I think it's better than having that feeling of being ripped off. Obviously, if you've already ordered something, you have to pay for it. And it is, of course, important to be respectful in any establishment that you're in. But when it's appropriate, when it's not too late, you can leave, look at the menu, ask to see a menu before you agree to be seated. Like certain things like that. Same with at the nail salon. What is the price gonna look like before I ask for this? Like asking questions to clarify, to avoid feeling ripped off, all of that. I'm not getting ripped off in 2023. What is a place that you feel ripped off at? I would love to know. I feel like we could all go on a little rant in the comments about a time or a place where you've been ripped off. I would love to read about it. Okay, so according to my calculations, if I avoid places where I feel ripped off, I will save $500 in a year. Now, my calculation comes from the fact that in order to feel ripped off, you do have to spend quite a bit of money. So I figured $100 a couple times a year, like how often does it really happen? Maybe 5. So $100 5 times a year leads to potential savings of $500. Now, my number 2 is kind of a weird one. It's a habit that I've picked up in the past couple of months that I really want to kick, and that is buying breakfast or lunch out and about, specifically fast food. I had gotten into the habit of having Tim Hortons like a couple times a month, which I never used to do for breakfast because it tasted good, it was easy, and it's relatively cheap. But the thing is for what you're getting, and if you compare that to, could I make this at home? Let's say like a bagel and cream cheese or even a little wrap. If you were just a little bit prepared, you could make that at home. Same with buying like a salad for lunch. It might not be as expensive as having dinner out, but you could so easily have avoided that. And also a lot of the times these quick and cheap options are very unhealthy. So I just really want to nix that habit. I think if I'm a little bit more prepared, planning for my lunches at the beginning of the week, making sure to grocery shop and get stuff for lunch as well, not just dinner. Same with breakfast, packing little breakfasts on the go with me. I can stop this habit of eating out, which will not only save me money, but of course be a lot healthier when it comes to the food that I'm eating. So for this one, I said about $12 a week, which is $48 a month, which is a total of $576 of savings throughout the year. I don't actually buy breakfast or lunch for $12 a week every single week, but just for easy math's sake, that was the number that I came up with. And honestly, I could do it that frequently. Like it's so easy, it tastes so good, but I'm already pretty strict with myself. Like I really try and narrow it down, but anyways, Tim Hortons, those farmers wraps, they're so good. Number 3, I think is actually the most expensive one, and that by cutting these out, I would save the most amount of money. That being said, they're not something I do so frequently already because once again, I am strict with myself on these things, but they are things that I see influencers doing all the time. I see friends doing all the time on social media, and it's so tempting. It's so tempting to do these things. So what are they? Beauty treatments outside of the house. So think lashes, brows, waxing, facials, all of those kinds of things are so tempting because they've really been marketed as treat yourself, pamper, relax, you deserve it. And you know what? You probably do deserve it. I probably do deserve it. And they probably are so relaxing, but you know what else they are? Expensive. Every so often, I look up how much it would be to get a facial at a local spot, and it's like $90 plus tax and tip, and that is so expensive, especially when you consider the fact that they recommend that you come once a month. Personally, I just can't justify that when I don't know if there's truly any science behind getting these facials. Like, I know people who have great skin and they do go get facials. I know people who have great skin and they don't go get facials. So is there a correlation between having fabulous skin and getting these facials? Personally, I don't think so, which means I can't justify that price. It's the same with brows. Like, so many times I've thought about getting my brows microbladed or laminated. But that stuff doesn't last. And so what, every 3 months, I'm gonna go get my brows relaminated and I'm gonna get hooked on this service and it's so expensive. I'd rather not. I think all of these treatments can be cool and they can be fantastic. And if you have the room in your budget for it, or if it's something that makes you really, really happy, of course, go for it. Like, I have nothing against those things. I just know myself and I know that the addictive and kind of recurring nature of those treatments, for me, it's just not something that I have room for in my budget right now. And so I don't even want to let my mind go there this year. I don't even want to think about it. I'm just like, you know what, Zoey, you're banned from this. All of 2023, banned from these things. But like waxing, okay? Waxing, you can kind of do it at home. Like, I've learned to wax my own armpits at home and it's fine. And an area where I don't want to wax it at home, I'll just shave because it's so much cheaper. The only two outside of the house beauty treatments that I would allow are haircuts, because I can't do it myself, and also laser hair removal. I have done that in the past and I think it's really, really worth it. And I don't really think you can do that at home. So laser and haircuts, but anything else that you can teach yourself or learn how to do at home is so valuable and you will save so much money. So the number I came up with was $92 a month, which is $80, which is about the average cost of a service like a facial or waxing, plus tax here in Montreal. So that's $92. If you were to do that once a month, it would come out to $1,104 for the year. So by cutting out one beauty treatment a month, you can save $1,000 a year. How crazy is that? Now, imagine if I was someone, like, I'm just imagining, like, what if I got, you know, waxed every month and my nails every month and my hair every 3 months and my brows and this and that. My God, I'd be spending thousands on like beauty treatments a year. And that's crazy. Like, if you have the money for it, again, if you have the money for it, it's totally fine. But so many of these things we can learn to do at home, and we can also just learn to embrace our natural beauty and save a little bit of money along the way. Number 4 is expensive skincare. Now, this is not something that I've been a huge consumer of. I'm just a little bit too cheap for that, to be honest. But I have dabbled in the past. Just like the facials, this is something that calls to me sometimes, because I think it's because I see it so much on social media. I see all these gorgeous bottles, these trending skincares, and then I look at the price and I'm just like, oh my gosh. So the thing is, you guys, I have found this amazing, amazing, amazing Canadian brand called Teval. I've been buying skincare from there for, I want to say 6 years, like since 2014. No, that's more than 6 years. I started shopping there when I was 18, okay? And their products transformed my skin, and they're like basically drugstore price, but high-end quality, made in Newfoundland, made in Canada by this local small business. They are so fantastic. Like, I have these amazing products. Sure, they're not in the most elaborate containers, but they work. They're affordable. They come from an amazing brand. They're on the natural side, and I just love them. So why even dabble? Why continue dabbling when the answer is right in front of me? The answer is right in front of me with amazing skincare. So for me, no more dabbling in expensive skincare. I don't know. I'm so lucky that being on YouTube, sometimes brands will send me things. And last summer, I got sent these beautiful, beautiful skincare. And my cousin was flipping out when she saw it. She was like, I love that brand. It's amazing. And I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's fantastic, but something with me and that skincare didn't match up, and it made my eczema, who remembers my eczema, so much worse. So I also, just for that reason, to avoid any allergies, want to stay away from mixing things up with my skincare and just really stick to this one brand that, once again, is affordable and is amazing. Plus, you guys, like, these expensive skincare sometimes, like, they can go up to so much money. Like La Mer, okay? La Mer. I bet it's beautiful. Whatever. Tiniest jar, and it's so freaking expensive, like $80 for this tiny jar. Like, I can't. I just can't. Okay, you guys, number 5 is regular bottled laundry detergent, bottled fabric softener, like those clunky plastic bottles. No more. Okay, and it's kind of cheating because I haven't bought these in years. Ever since I discovered Tru Earth, never ever will I go back to those clunky plastic bottles. This video is sponsored by Tru Earth, you guys. You've heard me talk about them so many times, but I wanted to include them in this video specifically because let's all move away from those plastic jugs, shall we? Not only do they take up so much room in our laundry room or in our drawers, in our cupboards, but they're just so bad for the planet. They're so messy. And when there is a simple solution right in front of you that is accessible, that is easy, to me, it's a no-brainer to make the switch. I've spoken so many times about Tru Earth and their amazing laundry strips. As I'm sitting here filming this, there's a load of laundry going on right now. I filmed these clips a little bit earlier today. I've been using Tru Earth laundry strips for over a year now. They clean your clothes so wonderfully. They smell great if you opt for the fragrance option, and they take up so little room in your cupboard. But today, what I'm so excited to tell you guys about is their new fabric softener that they just launched. So no, you don't need any more big bottles of fabric softener. Just like the traditional laundry strips, the fabric softener also comes in a strip. This one's really cute and has kind of a pink hue. You rip it up, throw it in the washing machine with your clothes, and they will come out so soft. When I first moved into this apartment and had my very own laundry machine for the first time, I was like, I don't need fabric softener. Like, what does that even do? And I put my towels through the washing machine. I bought these really nice, thick, luxurious cotton towels, and they came out of the wash stiff as a board. Stiff as a board. And so I learned my lesson. Fabric softener does make a difference on things like towels, sweatpants. Like, it just really softens your clothes. Personally, I don't use it on my delicates, but for everything else, I am so glad that I can now use Tru Earth fabric softener. Tru Earth is a wonderful brand. They are Canadian, which I love. And while you may not save a ton of money by making the switch, you will save a ton of space. You will love it. And I promise you, you will never look back. If you want to save money on your Tru Earth purchase, I have got your back. You can use code Zoey10. This will work site-wide, so you can check out the new fabric softener. You can check out the laundry detergent if you haven't yet. You can also pick up some of their home cleaning products. I have their sponges and I also have their makeup wipes and their toilet strips. The toilet bowl cleaning strips works like a charm. I recommend trying it out in one of their 30 packs in the small ones, and then either signing up for a subscription or purchasing the annual pack, which is what I have for the laundry detergent. You'll be set for a year and you'll never look back. Trust me on this. So that's that for number 5. Now, there's no real dollar amount savings, but there is a big smiley face because your clothes will be looking so fantastic. You're doing the planet a favor, and you're also doing your space a favor because it's just great, you guys. Number 6 is kind of a funny one. It is scented candles. This fall and then this winter, I went crazy at Bath & Body Works. I was like, candles, I wanna smell good. And honestly, I hate to admit it, but I think they were making my eczema worse. I think the smell was so strong that it was making my eczema worse, because as soon as I burned through my candles and I cleared those candles out of my house, my eye kind of cleared up. So I've always gone back and forth between like wanting to be this natural girly who like doesn't use Bath & Body Works candles, like no artificial scents, and also just loving those scents, like, oh my God, they smell so freaking good. However, this year I do want to challenge myself to stay away from those things, because deep in my gut, I know they can't really be healthy for you. I mean, from time to time, I don't think that they can be super harmful, but I do want to move away from them. And what I want to replace them with, because I do love those fresh scents, I love like having a good smelling home, is actually a diffuser. So this is another one where there's not actually really any dollar savings, because the upfront cost of buying a diffuser is quite pricey. I'm looking at one that's also a humidifier and it's like $200. It's kind of crazy. I don't know if I'm gonna buy that yet. But yeah, there's no like dollar for dollar comparison, but I just think, just like Tru Earth, this is just gonna be a better option. So I've actually burned through all but one of my scented candles and I've gotten them completely out of the house, and I'm not gonna be buying any more. Of course, if someone wants to give me a candle as a gift, like I'm not gonna get rid of it. That would be amazing. But the thing that I find crazy is Bath and Body Works candles are, you know, a great option because they smell good, they're big, you can get the 3-wick ones, and they're affordable. I tried in the past buying like those soy, those natural ones, or ones from like a small business, but honestly, I just can't justify the price. They're like $20 for a tiny candle that you burn through in a matter of weeks. I just find that way too pricey. So I'd rather do the like whole upfront cost and get a diffuser. Plus I like the idea of my house smelling like a yoga studio. I feel like it would be very calming. So yeah, no more scented candles for 2023. I did figure out a cost for that one though, which was if I spent $50, which is about 2 candles 4 times a year, so 2 candles per season, that's $200 for the year, not to mention tax and stuff, which is basically the cost of getting that diffuser. So over time, the diffuser should save me money. Are you guys ready for number 7? It's kind of a sad one, and that is plants. Now, who remembers my videos from about 2 years ago where I was that plant girl? Plants were my passion. I was always gardening. I loved it so much. I would take my plants and I would do clippings and I would make babies and I would repot. I would give them to friends. I even started like a little plant side hustle with my sister over Christmas break. We were like selling plants in Ottawa. We made like over $100 doing that, which was really cool. But over time, I've just kind of lost interest in my plants, and I've even let some of them die. I've started just not being good with my plants. I haven't been taking good care of them. I think I figured it out, and I can actually attribute to my losing interest in my plants to getting my dog Maggie, which makes perfect sense because I'm caring for this dog now. I don't have as much time to care for my plants and spend my energy and time on them in the way that I used to. I've basically just transferred my nurturing from plants to my dog, which I'm totally cool with. I also think that I love plants and I love the decor look they give, but it can be a little bit cluttered. Like my house used to be a jungle, you guys. Like I had a plant or 2 on every single surface, and I loved it. I loved it for a time, but then I began to feel kind of suffocated by my plants, which I know sounds really weird. It was just almost like I was resentful of them. I'd look at all of them on my shelves and be like, oh, like I don't really want you anymore, but I gotta keep you alive. And anyways, recently I have been giving them away to friends and neighbors, and it's kind of sad because I invested so much in this hobby that now to like kind of be giving them away, and like my pots and stuff, like I don't know, but I can always pick it back up again later. I just want to give them to a good home that are going to take care of them. They are living beings after all, and they deserve more than I'm giving them right now. But all that to say, if I'm giving away, rehoming some of my plants, I should not be buying anymore. The number I came up with for this, I feel is pretty realistic, which was $120 for the year. Now, at my prime plant time, I was definitely spending way more than this. I calculated this by buying 1 new plant at $20 about 6 times a year, so every other month. But there was a time when I was buying 1 to 2 new plants every single month, buying new pots all the time, buying soil all the time. Like I was spending way more. I even one time, this is so embarrassing, I once spent $150 on a cactus. It died. It died. It was a beautiful cactus, and I was like, it's a work of art. I need this cactus. I think it was $150 for the cactus, plus I bought like a really nice pot for it. Anyways, the cactus died. It lasted me about 1.5 years. So very poor ROI on that cactus. Now, number 8 is not really for money saving sake, but definitely more for like minimalism's sake. That's the same with the plants. Like I didn't mind spending money on the plants, but this one here is shower products. When I was a kid, I was obsessed with shower products. Every time I would go to like Shoppers Drug Mart or, you know, Walmart, I would want to buy every shower product, and I had like lines and lines of bottles and lotions and potions in the shower. And sometimes I would like wash with one body wash, I'd rinse, and then I'd use the other one because like one was for softening and the other was for smoothing. Like who knows? I was just obsessed with products. I feel like so many people can probably relate to this. I've seen TikToks like to this day of people who have these color coordinated lotions, different scents, potions all up in their shower, and I can't be that girl anymore. I had this like 3-tiered, I think it was 3 or 4-tiered shower organizer for years, and one day I looked at it and I was like, All of this is just a mess. It's so unnecessary. I never use it, and these products are low-key expensive. Like, what if I just stuck to the basics? What would happen to my hair? What would happen to my skin? It would probably be fine. I used to have like 4 different kinds of shampoos, like one for this, one for that, one for that, and I rarely wash my hair anymore. I just think it's better for my hair because it's very thin. I put it up, I wear it up, you know, like this most days. And rather than use product, I can use the grease of my own hair to slick back my ponytails. So anyways, I have been using up, finishing all of my products and then not replacing them. So really in 2023, my goal is to just have the bare minimum when it comes to products. Obviously there are things that are nice, there are things that work, there's little treatments that I like to do here and there, but to keep in the shower and also on my shelves, I really want to narrow it down and only buy the essentials and only buy products that I love or that I've like read reviews about and I really am sure that I want to try. Now, if I do this, I should save about $120 a year. I said about $20 every 2 months, which I feel like is pretty realistic, maybe even on the low end, but I feel like it's realistic for me. So $120 I will save by not buying as many products. And this doesn't even include like outside of the shower products, like hair products, like the skincare I talked about. But for now, I just really want to focus on the shower because I finally took out that 3-tiered system. I finally narrowed down all my products so much and it was so satisfying. And now when I'm in the shower, I feel so much calmer. I just have one little corner shelf that has all of my stuff and it's such a more pleasant shower experience. My goal for 2023 is like when I shower, I want to feel like I'm at the spa. I want my shower to be like my time, you know, and that was a trick my therapist gave me, so shout out to her. Okay, we're nearing the end. Number 9, the 9th thing I won't be buying this year. This is gonna sound so weird. It's fresh fruit. I don't know why. Every time I go to the grocery store and I buy berries or oranges or grapefruit or grapes, oh my God, I have grapes in my fridge I completely forgot about. See, this is exactly my point. I buy fruit because it looks good, it's good for you. I often buy it when it's on sale, and for some reason, I just don't eat it. I don't reach for fruit at my house, and it's not because I don't like it, it's not because I don't like the taste, I forget, I don't know. Now, I know it sounds like concerning, like, Zoey, you need to eat fruit. I like frozen fruit. I'll put frozen fruit in a smoothie and I'll have that almost every single day. And it's just so sad, like the amount of money and the amount of food that I've wasted buying this fruit and then just not eating it. I really wish I could put my finger on why. I think part of it comes from, this might be like a little too deep, but when I was younger, when I was a kid, I was only allowed to get fruit when it was on sale. My mom like didn't like spending money on fruit because it's expensive, and like I feel her, like berries and all of that, like they're very expensive. So I was only allowed to have it when it was on sale, and it was always, there was like rules about the fruit, like we had to share it and I wasn't allowed to like finish the container in one sitting. Like my mom would like kind of get mad at me if I like ate too much of the fruit, or like I didn't share it, or I didn't make it last long enough. But then there's also that fine line of like letting it stretch out too long and then it goes bad. So now that I live alone, I think I still have that like restrictive mentality towards fruit where I'm like, oh, these berries are very special, so I have to appreciate them when I eat them. I can't just like eat them blindly and then I end up not eating them and throwing them out. So I don't know, was anyone else's parents funny about berries like that? Which like, I super get it, they're expensive. So that's just like a weird thing that I've carried with me, I guess, from childhood. Maybe it's not even related to that, maybe, I don't know. All that to say, I think I'm just gonna stick to frozen fruit this year, and I'm pretty sure I'll be all right. For this, the savings are actually pretty significant. I said about $6 a week, $24 a month, which is $288 a year on fruit. And that's not to say like fruit is bad, don't spend $300 a year on fruit, like spend more, fruit is amazing. But if you're just gonna spend it to throw it out, then that's not so amazing. So that's why I am moving away from fruit. Number 10, are you ready? This is a weird one as well. It is random thrift store finds. I feel like during COVID, at least for me, thrifting was like very trendy, and I really got into thrifting. Camilla and I would go, my sister and I would go, and it was so much fun. The thing with thrifting sometimes is that the items are so inexpensive that you just justify buying them because it's like, why not? Like this sweater's literally $3, it's crazy. But over time, I've kind of realized that a lot of those thrift store things that I bought, whether it was clothes or home decor, I really only bought it because it was cheap. There's only a few things that I bought and that I still wear because I love them. The other times it was just a bit more novelty. It was like, oh, this is cool. And like, I could picture an outfit like this and like, I'd wear it once or twice and then never again, which again is fine because it's not like I broke my wallet, like buying this $3 sweater or this, you know, pot for a plant or whatever. But what I'm trying to get at here is that I was getting in this habit of going to the thrift store, buying stuff just for the sake of it, and then it sits in my house and becomes clutter. This is especially true of home decor. I really, this is like similar storyline to the plants. I really got into this like thrifted, vintage, maximalist home decor look. So I was buying like plates and little trinkets and stuff from the thrift store because it looked so cool and it looked so vintage. But then at the end of the day, it just kind of all became clutter. It became something to dust around the house, and it was really fun. But in 2023, again, like I just want to be more like at peace. I don't want to have as many things to dust. I don't want to have as many plants to water. So no more thrift store finds, especially home decor stuff. Like the clothes, when it's cheap and it's really affordable, it can just be fun. You guys know I love clothes, but just in general, I want to have, I think I would say like a more, just a tighter decision-making process at the thrift store and not just buying it because it's inexpensive. So for this, again, it's about $120. I said if I spent 20 bucks every 2 months. So it's really not a bank breaker, but it is a clutter saver. So yeah, we're just gonna be a little smarter at the thrift stores this year. So those are my 10 things. And now the final number that all of this comes out to is $3,228. So it's a little under 4,000. Actually, it's quite a bit under 4,000. I think I said 4,000 at the beginning of the video. So sorry if I clickbaited you guys, but that is the exact amount that it comes out to. Anyways, we'll see how I do with this throughout the year. I mean, none of these things are like hard rules. I'm not gonna go to jail if I break any of them, but it's just fun. It's fun to set these little challenges, these little parameters, and hey, maybe save some money along the way. Thank you guys for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Remember to comment down below 1 or 2 things that you don't want to buy in 2023. And remember to check out Tru Earth and their new fabric softener. You will never look back. Thank you so much, Tru Earth, for working with me on this video. Everybody, I love you. I will see you in my next video. Bye. Also, can we just take a moment for how much the lighting has changed? Like, I'm like blue. I'm sitting here, I look blue because it's so dark outside. Ugh, that's winter for you.